Dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, absolutely.
What was that fucking...
Well, first of all, how you sleeping?
Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sleeping well. I've been sleeping really well. Actually, I don't know how well I've been sleeping. Dude, I had a bad, and if people listening have listened to me on previous podcasts with you on like Duck Duck Radio, dude, my anxiety is like very roller coastery.
Oh no!
And I hit
big
old loop-de-loop this weekend, dude. It was wild. And I think what it was is I went to a friend's house on Friday night and I hadn't seen him. I went to Nat's house, and I hadn't seen him in months. And I really missed him. And I hadn't seen his brother, and I hadn't seen Andy, our other buddy. I hadn't seen them in months. And so I was got all jacked up. And on my way there, I was feeling like I was going to have a panic. You know that where you feel like you're sweating, but you're not sweating and your body is tingling?
Yeah.
When you know a panic attack is coming. It was I had that. So I took my panic medicine and then I just didn't sleep. I slept in a super uncomfortable position, but I don't know. I just slept that way and I woke up. And I don't know if it was because I was hunched weird or whatever, but I woke up not breathing, you know? And that was just the wrong way to start the day.
Shit.
And then my whole day on Saturday, I was just very shaky. I just couldn't get back down to equilibrium. And then Sunday, I felt better. I woke up, things were good. Caitlin and I went to the store and got some stuff. My parents came over for lunch and everything was good. And then while we were sitting there, and I don't know if it was everyone sitting super close to each other or what, but I just full blown was I can't do it. I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. You know, I just lost my mind. And then, so it's been the last couple of days, it's been a kind of an up and down. It's you know how it's kind of to me, it's when you watch slow-mo of a guitar string getting plucked, right? You pluck it and it at first it's but then it slows down and it gets back. So it's my rebound or the rebounding emotions are far more level than they were at first, but it's still I'm not at status quo, you know? So that's how I've been sleeping. How have you been sleeping?
Well, I was doing good. I had not had snacks available for me to eat right before bed. Mm-hmm. And then Kim yesterday was like, hey, I bought 60 of those almond butter biscuits you like so much.
And you were just cool, thanks.
Damn it, why'd you do that?
I'm going to be sweating before bed now.
I walked to bed with 3 of them in my hand. And Kim goes, you're not going to eat all those. I go, okay. I opened one. This is what a fat piece of shit I am. Opened one. Put that one on my chest.
Yeah.
Opened another one. Ate that while I was playing Pokemon Go, so that when I was done,
you just
I was like, I hate that I have to reach to the dresser to grab the other one.
Yeah.
Just have one on deck.
Yeah.
And I hate the feeling of accomplishment with going, I could eat another one.
Oh, dude,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
I
don't know that I hate it, but I don't like it. It's not a welcome feeling, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because later you're like, what the fuck? You didn't need to. So I went and I grabbed, I ate 4. I got up and I went and grabbed the 4th one.
Dude, on Sunday, I was trying to kind of get out of the funk. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat something. I'm going to
You keep going. I got to fix that camera.
You know, when you, when you're in a funk and you're okay, I'm going to return to giving myself a pass on something and I'm going to eat terrible food for myself because it makes my heart feel good, even though it makes my heart not feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Caitlin was going to make, she was going to fry some chicken in the air fryer and we were going to have nice, pleasant meal together, you know? And, I just full blown pulled the chute on that. It was just I want McDonald's. She was like, oh, okay. So she was like, "Do you hear that?"
I did hear it.
Got the McGurgs.
That's one of my favorite things to catch on microphone is that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like the alien click or the predator click noise.
It's like the sound that happens before Godzilla shoots out all that shit out of his mouth.
Dude. That rumble. So I ordered McDonald's, dude, and I did exactly what I was like going through the process of like picking out what I wanted. And by the way, I DoorDashed McDonald's. Like, that's so pathetic. But anyway, so I got a double quarter pounder with cheese, which by itself is a meal. That's like 900 calories, right? Large fry, strawberry shake, 2 buttermilk chicken sandwiches, and ate all of it. It was so bad. Like, as I was eating, I was like, I think I'm gonna vomit. Is it raining outside?
No, Kim is spraying the window. Which seems like a good idea right now.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know we're recording.
No, she does.
Okay, so she does.
Very aware.
Well, maybe she doesn't know that the recording has begun. She knows that I'm here. You know what I mean? Give her the benefit of the doubt.
No, we just made eye contact. She gives no fucks.
Good for her.
Maybe she found my other pack of cigarettes.
Chris.
I can't stop smoking.
Why?
I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's bad for you.
Oh, yeah. You know what else is bad for you? Everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
But that doesn't negate the fact that the other thing is super bad for you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying. When people say, like, dude, okay, coming from the guy who, and then you're like, okay, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. First of all, how dare you bring up my ex-girlfriend at a time like this?
Comparative, like, bad things or whatever.
The whataboutism.
Yeah, dude. Way better choice of words than comparative bad things. What am I talking about?
I mean, that still works.
Yeah, but it sounds so dumb. Anyway, so I was going to ask you. I totally spaced on it, but how did the little show, the
online, thing that Andy did?
How was it?
It was super weird.
Yeah, duh.
Like, weirder than I thought it was going to be.
Not a shot at Andy.
Here's what I will say. It felt so much like being at an open mic.
Really?
Because everybody, like, jumps in right before the show starts. And then you just kind of hang out waiting. And I hung out in my office waiting. And it felt like when you're on the side stage at Keller waiting to go up.
Yeah.
And that felt really good.
Wait. So, like, is there like a chat, like a waiting room?
Yeah.
On the call? And and then
so,
like somebody goes and then like he like pulls them onto the...
So the way that Andy described it to me, so to him, he sees all 9 of the people that are going to be going, right? Mm-hmm. So 9 little windows.
Yeah.
He clicks on one that expands and then boom, it's the side by side. So everybody else is just hanging out there, and so he can see what they're doing. And
But you can see all the other people too?
No.
Or you can only see... Oh, okay.
But there is a chat. There is like a chat going on.
Okay.
So there's...
Because I was going to say, like, that would be brilliant. You do that, and then immediately, like, we could go back to doing shows.
Yeah.
Because you could have, like, a full-on, like, audience room.
Well, he's working on that. With Zoom, you have that option. Did you know that there's comics doing corporate gigs via Zoom?
Seriously.
Yeah. Josh Wolf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's very good. I've seen a lot of his stuff at, like, Laugh Factory. Like, 5-10 minutes at Laugh Factory.
He used to drive me absolutely crazy. Almost as crazy as that pitter patter on the window. But, yeah, he was talking about how they set it up and some people are at their desks, other people are, at home or whatever.
And you just pull it up on your monitor kind of thing?
And you get to hear the audio is what he made it sound like. So he got to hear all of their laughter. And
oh, that's sweet. So like they put on a mic and then like they're not muted.
Right.
So
it's pretty
see,
cool.
that's when like keyboard warriors sort of, that would like bother me because it's like now you're heckling without like real consequences,
Oh.
So you'd have to have like a moderator there.
Yeah, but that'd be weird if a heckler at a corporate gig.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like,
in general.
In general, like if you're giving
Sure.
if you're giving people the keys to just like be a part of the show,
Yeah.
you know, just like you are in real life. But like in real life, there are a multitude of consequences that could be, you know, either.
This is gonna drive me.
Well, I know it's going to drive you nuts, but just try to ignore it.
I know.
You're not. I mean, you're not going to be able to, but I'm trying. So it went well, though.
Yeah.
Did you do
it was
like
nice
old
talking
material?
to.
Did you?
No, I did the two. I did that.
Fuck yeah! How'd those go?
That one, and then I forget what the other one. But they were two new jokes. It's just to Andy, so that's the weird part. He's wants to be a good friend and like encourage you, so he's got a big smile on his face. But then he also like talks to you, so it's like it's a conversation.
Did you have like the Facebook Live up though?
Yeah,
to be able, so you could see like if people were commenting and stuff. You
no.
weren't looking because you were on stage.
Yeah,
on stage, whatever.
Yeah, so you can't. I would have had to have stood at my computer because when you have the thing open,
yep.
But yeah, that was nice. Yeah, like I said, it felt that because you do feel nervous because you're like, it's a different nervous. You're like, is this going to translate to anybody? Because
for sure.
Plus, the people that went before me were just two friends of his, and they were like just these super goofy old dudes, and they were hilarious.
Oh, so you like had to follow killers,
but they weren't like doing comedy. They were just being
funny people.
Yeah.
That's almost hard, in my opinion. I guess in my experience, it's almost harder to follow somebody who is not a tight comic, but is a hilarious person.
Yeah,
than it is to follow a tight comic.
Right, because
a tight comic like gets the experience. They understand like what okay, like I'm up here, I'm doing jokes. But like when somebody kind of goes off the rails and just is silly as shit, then they kind of like in a way you kind of lose the audience too.
Well, and it's nice because when you follow somebody who's really good, you can go, holy shit, give it up for
and like, for sure.
It makes sense.
Well, and it also kind of like puts a button on their set, you know, because like it's you being like, okay, that was awesome. Now it's my turn. Yeah. Or as the host, you say like, give it up for this person one more time, you know, and then you kind of like get it out of their system. But if somebody was like so wacky and like silly and goofy, then like you get on stage and you're like, okay, I'm not that. And that, whatever that was, killed. So like, get ready for something completely different, you know? That's why like showcases are fine. Like I enjoy them. I like doing Peacher's Picks. I like doing other showcase, like the Loon Showcase and stuff like that. But it's such a like it's the like rotation of like personalities is good for the audience.
Yeah.
But it's like hard as a comic because like I'm not saying it makes it harder, but like if you're doing a weekend or whatever, right? And you're hosting, like you're doing a weekend with the same feature and same headliner. So like you know, or like in their case, like they're doing with the same host. So like they know, okay, like I now know what to expect after night one or show one.
Yeah.
As opposed to like in a showcase, it's like a one shot, like here we go. And then like you don't fucking know who you're going to follow. And they might murder and then you're like, awesome. Like this is cool. All right. Now I have to follow a killer. And then they might not. They might bomb their ass off, and then you have to go up there and be like, what the fuck was that, right? Ha, 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 ha. And then everyone's like, you're a dick. Yeah. You're like, I don't know what to say.
A lot of those showcases, there will be like one person majority of the audience is there for.
Oh, yeah.
And you find out real quick
who that person is. Yeah. I've been in that instance before. I will say, though, like the best formatted maybe is the right word. Maybe not. I don't know. But the POC show we did, People of Comedy, was so excellent. That was, after doing that, I was like, I completely was like rethought how we had to do Peacher's Picks. Like, I was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
And like, I felt like in the case of, because like Khadijah hosted our night, you know, and she was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, she could not have done better. But like, when they would bring up like professional comics, you know, like in between everybody, like breaking up the show.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they'd have like new people following people who had been doing it for a while, and then after the new person, it'd be like Jeff Asmus or whatever, and he would just like murdered, and you're like, awesome, like this is a great show.
Yeah,
it was I loved that night. It was so fun, but I don't know. I'm kind of rambling about nothing right now.
Well, no, I think that was perfect because that leads into. I thought we've done 10 episodes now, and people still don't know. By the way, 2020, what a year! Can't
really
believe
leaning
that,
into this, huh?
Can't believe Jon Stewart's our president now.
Yeah, weird. Actually, though,
wouldn't that be awesome?
I mean, not trying to be bit killer on this guy, but like, put a pin in that bit that you want to do so bad for some reason. That is so dumb. I'm with you, but if Jon Stewart was our president, I'd be like very happy.
Oh yeah,
that guy has his shit together.
Yeah, and he's also just enough of an asshole.
Oh yeah,
to do the job correctly.
Yeah, but I don't even feel like he's an asshole. I feel like he's just blunt. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you said something stupid, he would be like, "That was stupid.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?" But then also he's like empathetic enough.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. He's driven. I mean, sticking with those firefighters, first responders for,
until literally this year when it happened, or was it? End of 20 doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Alex. Timeline doesn't matter. But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. But anyways, what I was gonna say was how we haven't talked about how we met.
You and I?
Yeah.
How did we meet?
We met at the Keller, and I think it was like a passing thing. Because I remember when we had like our first actual conversation was when Max had you jump in on the podcast that I was going to do with him.
That's right. Yes.
And so that's when I started to find out all of these things about you.
Yeah, I remember being super nervous for that podcast. Like I was so nervous because I was like, I got to be cool. But like, why? There
was a moment, and I can hear it because I was listening to that episode again today. If you want to hear it, it's episode number 22. You have to go to SoundCloud, which...
Oh, back in the day, dude. Yeah. The Dizzy.
No.
Back when you guys were like trying to be rappers over on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
You were putting out your episodes on...
this close to getting a face tattoo.
Getting your episodes on Dat Piff.
So anyways, you can hear a moment when like our... like what we find funny click. And it's when... I over-enunciate, check out my gravel pit.
Oh, yeah, dude, that killed me.
And then we started riffing on that, like, and then from that day on, like, so my first impression of you initially at the Keller was like, that dude, super cool, pretty sure he skateboards, not 100%. And then we did that podcast, and then I took a photo of you. And you were very like, you had a vision in mind of how you wanted to look in it.
Yeah.
And I was just, but it didn't seem, you weren't like being like bougie about it. You weren't trying to be like a prima donna or some shit. You were just like,
dude,
I think it's gonna.
Your word choice right now is impeccable. Keep going.
But so like, it was just, if it interested me. And so I wanted to keep digging more and more. And the more that I kept digging into you, the more I realized like, oh, you have anxiety levels like I do.
Yeah, yeah.
And these neurotic things where like, even though we get perceived as cooler than somebody actually realizes.
Or like chill. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We, for some reason, have to let them know like, hey, also, what about this? And do some goofy shit.
Yeah, like, hey, on the outside, I might seem like a pretty chill fun guy, right? But on the inside, it is the monkey with the cymbals. You know, it's just constantly like, things aren't going well. Always.
And that was funny, like laughing at how dark, all the time. How you doing? Horrible.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah. And I feel like what really made us like gravitate to each other, in part, it was the first time we met was like how I realized like, looking back on it now, the thing that I was like, oh, this dude kicks ass. It's just like how nonchalantly you would like, as you kind of had already alluded to, would just like drop like a a horrifying, like you would just say something and then people would be like, whoa, you know? And I was just like, you know, I used to struggle with this a lot. I would have so much trouble with like recognizing whether or not people were joking.
Oh, okay.
You know, like that was so hard for me because and I've talked to my parents about this before. It's like we grew up in a house where like joking was fine, but like there was a time and a place for being silly.
Yeah.
And like that time rarely came around, you know? It's like I would try to do something silly and be like, Dad, and he'd be like, the hell's wrong with you? You know? And I'm like, okay, all right, not right now. Okay, catalog. And so like it wasn't until I started doing comedy really that like that shell kind of broke off.
Yeah.
Because it's like comics just give each other shit all the time. And I didn't like live in a world where like giving people shit all the time was like, I mean, you make friends over the course of time and you have like a group of friends that you can all give each other shit, but it's like people you don't really know that well. Like if somebody says something to you that's like sort of sideways, you're like, oh, fuck that guy for sure. I hate that person, you know, which is so unhealthy. But it was like when I first met you, it was like I feel like we had that moment where like you were being a shit kind of in a way, you know? But it was like I was just like, oh, this guy kicks ass. Like he doesn't give a fuck, you know? It was awesome. And like I didn't attribute it to like anything in particular. It's just like you just were silly. And I gravitate naturally to like silly people just because like I'm silly anyway, you know? But like I think what really for me, like the like exact, and I feel like I've told you this before. I know I've told Caitlin, and like she gets all like, not me, every time. Every time. It's so cute. She's the best ever. Anyway, I actually have something to talk to you about off air about that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say kids are super bummed that she didn't come today.
Oh, I know. They always
miss her so much.
I know, and she misses them. But right now,
you know what's funny? Somebody came over this weekend real quick, and I was like, "Hey, Dad's got a friend over, or a friend coming over," and I told him who it was, and Layla goes, "Be better if it was Alex."
Oh, fuck yeah! Your kids are the best, man.
Yeah, they're pretty rad.
Caitlin and I are very lucky to be like pseudo family here, and I mean they're just excellent human beings.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the weirdest thing because like when you're at least my age without children, unmarried, you think of kids in a way as just like they have no concept of empathy. They can't because their brains aren't there yet. They think only for themselves. They're selfish, but they're adorable. That's like the thing that I built in my brain about children.
Okay.
And then like your kids were really the first kids like that are outside my family that like I got to know them like as human beings, you know? And I was like, they are just the coolest, you know? Like
that's awesome.
Yeah, they're great. Anyway, so I've told Caitlin this before, and like I said, she kind of gets a little not me about it, you know? But when I had my first like panic attack, which by the way, have I told you that story? Like what happened?
I
if you're down, I'd like to take you on a little journey real
Please.
quick. This is not something like that I've really talked about on stage like at length, but I think this could be like the next foray I do into like why I am who I am. But like I used to
do PCP?
I used to smoke weed a lot.
Ooh, I was close.
Yeah, kind of. Like a lot though. And it was like an unhealthy amount, you know?
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it was like I relied on it so much to like level my insanity that like if I didn't do it, then like the flood of emotions would creep in. And then it was like, it's like an inhaler with asthma. You know, it's like, then you take it.
The way you said that sounds like the inhaler has asthma. Yeah. I like it.
The inhaler with asthma. It's just inhaler is like, but so anyway, my mom's birthday 2 years ago, I don't know, a while ago, a long time ago, we went out to dinner and I ate like pesto something, right?
Okay.
It was like pesto garlic stroganoff or something. I don't fucking know. It's this noodle thing with chicken.
Yeah.
And it gave me like super bad heartburn, right? Super bad. And then what I would do is like at night I would go to my ex-girlfriend's house and we would like get stoned. That's like what we did every night, right? And so after my mom's birthday dinner, I dropped off my mom and my brother, and then I went over to her place and we got stoned. And it was a combination of like the heartburn and the being stoned that I went into like the most traumatic panic attack I've ever had in my life. Like to the point that, you know, like when you have a panic attack, you're like, I'm having a heart attack, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I had like gone so far past the I'm having a heart attack that I had just like embraced death like entirely. And like I was on my way home from her place and it's like pouring rain and I'm like head out the window of the car driving, trying to get fresh air.
Oh, okay.
And like glasses are like covered in water, literally not caring. I'm like, I'm dying, so it doesn't matter. If I fall off into the ditch, I'm going to die anyway, right? Fully embrace death. Finally get home, and then like immediately run upstairs, take off. My mom's sleeping. My dad's out of town. My mom's sleeping. My brother's sleeping. I take off all my clothes, and I'm like looking at myself in the mirror, which is like rule number 1 when you're stoned and having a panic attack. Don't look in the mirror. So I jump in and do that, and I'm like watching my heart beat at like if I had to guess, I was at 160 plus beats per minute. Like it was cruising, and I'm watching it beat through my chest, and I'm like leaning into the glass.
It's like R. Kelly at a urinal.
Kind of. Yeah. What?
He just, pee splatter.
Oh yeah.
He's a big
okay.
fan.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
It was a stretch.
It's okay though. But so I'm like looking at myself dying, and I'm like, I gotta tell my mom, like I don't want to actually die and not tell her that I love her,
Oh.
So I go into my mom's room and I wake her up and I'm like, hey mom, I just want to talk to you for a moment. And she's like, all right, what's up? And I was like, oh, by the way, I'm wearing underwear at this point. Like I wasn't like fully nude.
That's what I thought. I thought you're.
I know. I always
imagine
forget that
you
part.
with a massive bush for some reason.
Hell yeah, dog. Dude, I look like it's like Julius Irving's afro down there. Just so voluptuous. Anyway, so I walk in there and I'm like, I don't mean to alarm you, but I think I'm having a heart attack. And she's like, holy shit, She's like, come over here, And then I immediately started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like down on all fours, and she's like rubbing my back, and I'm crying, and I like can't calm myself down. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And then I'm like, I got to throw up. So like go in the bathroom, I start vomiting, and she's like, holy hell, like what is going on? And then I'm like laying in her bed with her, right? And I'm crying like so hard. And she's like, are you high right now? And I'm like, well, I'm going to die, so might as well just tell the truth. So I was like, yeah. And she's like, do you do that a lot? And I was like, every day. And then she's like, it's okay to tell me that stuff. And I was like, I've been lying to you for so long. So like this whole thing goes down, and I ended up literally sleeping at age like whatever, 20 something, ended up sleeping in my mom's bed, like crying. I cried myself to sleep in my mother's bed.
This is starting to sound familiar.
Yeah. So then the panic attacks didn't stop. It's like the next morning, I immediately had a panic attack again. And then it was like, so I quit smoking. That was however many years ago. Like I've smoked like maybe a couple times, handful of times since then. I just don't react to it well anymore. I always think I'm dying. But anyway, so it was like a 3-week period where I had panic attacks. So I had to quit doing comedy. And that's when, to come full circle, that's when I was like, I think Chris is my best friend. Because, and at that time, we weren't even super close. But I literally was like, you were the only person who reached out to me like every day. And kept sending me jokes and kept like keeping me in the loop and like checking in on me. And I was like, dude, this is like, he's a really good person. Like I was just so alone in my like suffering, and I couldn't like articulate it to anyone properly. And so like people just thought like, well, if we tell him it's going to be okay, then he's going to be okay. Yeah. And you never once were like, hey man, like, how's the panicking going? You were always just like, how are you? Like doing all right? Hey, I got this joke I want to run by. And it was just like, you didn't treat me differently. And that's when I was like, fucking Chris is the man. So there you go. That's my realization.
Well,
moment.
I mean, and the whole reason why I was doing that was because, like I said, I just found you to be so interesting. And the cool thing about like what I've found is when you can be silly with people like that, and not just like surface silly, like dark silly, where we're laughing at the fact that I'm making a joke about it, but we're also laughing at the fact that how fucked up it is that somebody feels that way.
Yeah.
And so we get each other on that level, and then it can turn into a conversation about like, dude, you know what happened to me? And it just goes that back and forth.
I feel like we both cope similarly.
Yeah.
And so like that's, I think, at least for myself, I would be willing to bet for you, like that's one of my best coping strategies is to be able to like find humor and levity in something that's like pretty dark and pretty tough to get over. And that's how you like bring people into the fold. You're like, hey man, I had full blown panic attacks and like now have panic disorder and like generalized anxiety disorder as well as like dysthymia, and it all came from like smoking pot, and one time I had to sleep in my mom's bed because of it. You know, it's like that's people are like, what? And you're like, dude, that is funny. You know, like that's what make it, you know, you find that person to like really it's also you like explore like depths of thought that you can't with other people.
Yes.
And that's what like it's freeing. You're like, dude, I was thinking about this thing the other day, and you know that like I know you're not going to judge me when I say that thing, or you're not going to like pull back and be like, well, actually, maybe don't talk about that.
Yeah, I've tried to, especially like since getting sober, like I've tried to focus on, because I focused so much on having to give an example as to why I know what you're feeling. Like when you're an empath, which I hate saying because I feel like you can smell the fucking incense whenever I say that. But being super empathetic.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's more than just you need to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I know either how serious the thing is that you're saying or how you feel right now. So I have to give some fucked up example of like what I've been through. Yeah. And since getting sober, like, because I still call people and do check-ins and stuff like that throughout the week. And what I've started to do is just say, that sucks. Yeah. That's fucking miserable. And I just try to let the sincerity come through I want it to feel heavy when I say it. Oh, yeah. So that I can, because when you do that, it sometimes breaks that dam, breaks the levee. Yeah. And then just that gushing of like, okay, I'm ready. Here it comes. Yeah, for sure. And then just being able to so rather than feeling like I have to continue to let people know by like giving these examples, like it's about you right now. Yeah. It's like, rather than using like comparative suffering in a way as like as a tool to like bridge like the understanding gap with somebody, you just like embrace their shitty existence and such you embrace their like shitty circumstances, you know, by just saying like, I'm here for you and that sucks really horribly and I'm sorry. Because most of the time what happens is, so like I say my thing, they say another thing. Yeah. So like for some reason, rather than addressing the thing, we're just doing this back and forth of fucked up things that have happened. Well, it's like you like have all these scabs and like one starts bleeding, and instead of like putting a bandage on that one, you just like pull off another scab. Yep. And so you're like, oh, look at this other scab I have. And then like the first one's still bleeding. Yeah. It's like, why don't we put a Band-Aid on that first? So yeah. And then like when you and Caitlin came over that one night for your guys' episode, which Caitlin, if you're watching this, you looked stunning that evening. I was blown away. Continue. Yeah, it was awesome. You had just moved in to the new place. Yeah, to the new place. Literally that day. Yep. And I think we almost didn't do it. And then yeah, because it was getting late as shit, and I was just like, dude, I'm coming. I need this. Yeah, and it was awesome. There was just, it felt like you guys should be there. And so and then after that, like I just was looking for excuses to have you guys over more. We just had, that night we had so much fun. And I just remember like, I remember you looking at her playing a board game with Layla and you going, I'm going to put a baby in that.
Yeah. Dude, I meant it too, you know? Or I was just like, she's, oh man. And she, like, I remember when she came in and she was just like glowing. And then like when Layla came like running up to her, and like that was like the birth of the Caitlin Layla dynamo that they've got. And it was just like watching that go down. I mean, Caitlin still has the friendship bracelet that Layla made for her. You know, it's like that. She made her that night, and I remember one day it broke, and Caitlin freaked out. She was so sad, and I was like, "We got this." And I like got a lighter and like melted the end of it so that like, you know, like and that whole evening was just so excellent. And I remember leaving and being like, you kind of like, I feel like there are, and maybe this is because I'm like more of a night person or I don't know, but like it's almost like a routine. Like after I leave something like really fun or impactful or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's like I like get in the car and I put on some music and I just like soak up the song like in response to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
So like after Caitlin and I had our first date, I played the song Thief's Theme by Nas, which is, if you've never heard it, I think it's his best song. And so many people would disagree with that, but like Nas is my favorite rapper of all time, and if you try to take this from me, I'll kill you. But like that song came on, and I was just so happy because it was such an incredible date. And then I got home and like the rest of the night was just incredible. And then like from now on, like anytime Thief's Theme comes on, like it brings back all the wonderful feelings of that night. And like, I know people say like, oh, this song always reminds me of but it's like, I literally like feel those feelings again, like every time that song comes on. And so it's just, so that night, the song was Be Easy by T.I., which is also a banger. But now every time that song comes on, I think of like the night that I mean, it was such a crazy day, but like that night, I just like, I don't know. And it came on the other day and I was like thinking about that. So I was like, man, that was so wonderful. Like, it was just such an incredible evening.
I remember you saying, because we had, Off the Noggin. We used to have this thing on Duck Duck Radic where Kim or I would say a topic and you'd have to make a joke about it. And you had thought of one because you saw a wine and spirits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was super dismissive. I wish I would have let it play out more. Because like the concept of what's with all these wine and spirits?
Yeah.
Like these super
I was at Griffin's
bitchy.
Wine and Spirits the other day. Yeah, what'd you buy? Oh, I didn't buy anything. I just went there, kind of had a sad meeting with some ghosts. Well, there was that one, and then that was the follow-up to, because you guys first did the Chipotle thing. It was like,
no, because I cut you off the wine and spirits thing.
Oh, yeah. Because you were like,
because I was like, no, you're not supposed to think about it.
Yeah.
Fucking purist asshole.
That's all right.
And then you did the Chipotle.
Yeah. That was so funny the way you said. I still, like, to this day, laugh about that.
What's your workout routine?
I don't have one. I haven't worked out in years. Actually, like, I never work out ever.
When's it, like, did you ever have like a gym membership?
Yeah, but I mean, I paid for it. I just never went. Dude, I was like, okay. After high school, after like having something to compete for that like required me being in shape.
Sure.
Why be in shape? Is my still to this day. And then I got fat or chubby. And now I'm like, oh, that's why you stay in shape.
Yeah.
Because you're starting to look like the Goodyear tire guy.
It's what Joe Rogan always say. He says, it's easier to stay in shape than to get in shape.
Sounds good, Vladislav. Yeah, I don't know. I don't work out. I'm starting June 1st. We're doing like a family Biggest Loser thing. So I'm going to put up a picture right here of my dad, who is going to be 60
this summer and still has a 6-pack.
Your dad is in great shape.
What a fucker.
No.
He eats like shit. He will mesh
Does he work out,
all
though?
of the food on his plate and just blah, 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 blah. It fucking drives me crazy.
But does he work out?
Yeah, he works out.
Yeah, there you go.
But like,
It's like you're turning fat and carbohydrates into energy. That's all working out is.
but he doesn't eat healthy.
So?
That's
You don't need
that's
to.
what drives me crazy is because
You don't need to eat healthy. I mean, it's not this simple, but it's pretty simple. When you think about it, it's just an input-output. That's all it is.
yeah, no, that actually,
So you take in 2,500 calories and you burn 3,000 calories? You lost weight that day.
these yerba mates
Dude,
have nothing in them.
Like bad stuff? Yeah.
No, they like literally have nothing in them.
Okay, I figured out what it
Super
tastes like,
weird.
by the way.
What is it?
Okay, so, and this is going to sound gross until you embrace the fact that you do this all the time anyway. You just do it with tea, but it tastes like
Semen.
no,
Oh,
close.
shit.
Fermented leaves.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
on the back end, you're kind of like, this tastes like fall. Like when you're raking.
when you jump into a pile of leaves and you accidentally get some in your mouth.
No, it's like, you know, when
spat
you're
it out?
raking and like that smell, because like all the leaves had been like basically
Yeah, dead
fermenting.
worms.
Yeah, no, okay, sure, yeah.
Right?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. But I'm just saying that's kind of like what it tastes like to me, and it tastes good. Like it's a good taste, but it's like that's why I was like trying to see if you'd ever had Bacopa or what's that thing that people were taking for a while that they were like, it replaces or it hits the same receptors in your brain as opiates do.
Oh, fucking kratom.
Yeah, dude. It tastes like kratom
That makes sense.
or like kava or like,
yeah, I know what you're
you know
saying.
what I mean? Like it has that like earthy sort of.
Yeah, my brother
decomposing
drinks
taste.
this shit like with all of that in it. He leaves. It looks like dirt. It smells like dirt.
So like nice.
Thank you.
Like kombucha, but not kombucha.
No, it's more like tea.
Yeah,
Because-
right. It's not kombucha. I'm just saying like because kombucha is a live culture, right?
Yeah,
Whereas like this is.
that's what I'm saying. It's more like because it's these ground up leaves
Yeah.
that go into the water, and you just like imagine if you cracked open a tea bag. Another one that was awesome.
I have acid reflux. It's going to be a thing.
Oh yeah. So if you cracked open a tea bag and poured it into the water,
Yeah.
and then drank it with that. But if you put like 3 of those in there, that's what this shit looks like. It looks like.
So I was
you
like
did it
spot
right.
on with my explanation.
Yeah.
Fucking
Of the taste wise, because that's what this is, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, look at me, man. Fucking A.
Nailed
They don't
it.
make them like this anymore, man. Holy cow. That was so dumb.
Yeah. That plant got shut down.
What plant?
You said they don't make them like this anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, thank you.
Although I don't think my dad had a vasectomy, so they could, I guess. Maybe.
Hey, your mom got a vasectomy though.
Can you imagine? They're like, we fucked up. We meant to do a hysterectomy, but we...
To be fair though, your parents' taints look identical. We could not. Anyways, back to Korean baseball. I still have not watched any of it. Have you caught any of the games?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well then scratch that one.
Oh, is that you had topics
Yeah.
lined up?
Did you not check your email? I emailed you.
Dude, I never check my email. I mean, I do, but like I check my work email and like I don't have a notification.
See, when
on my
I
phone.
say how you sleeping, it's a nod to the boys.
yeah,
Right.
do I check my email?
Good God.
12,000 unread emails.
Mine's
Oh, hey, there we go.
Mine's only at 1,000.
How you sleeping? Korean baseball workout routine. Test that premise. Okay. Cool. I'm all caught
That's
up.
so funny. That because you looked like you were like revving
On
for the
board?
next topic. That's so funny. I thought you knew we were the whole time.
No, that's why when you said Korean baseball and workout routine, I was like, the fuck is he talking about? It's like, all right, cool. We'll talk about that. I'm down.
That's funny.
I mean, I don't give a shit, but I do because I care about you because I love you.
Dad, I love you so much. Andy was listening to, I found my old recorder when I used to interview bands. And
shit. Yeah, that's right. I saw that. And
he was listening to me interview somebody, and they're from the West Coast, and they're like, we've been out on Vans Warped Tour. This is the third year. Yeah, third year. And Andy was like, you sound like a fucking dork. I was like, that's not me.
That's so funny.
He's like, oh, but you sound like that sometimes. So I thought it was what the
Wait, was it Matfield that came over the other day?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I haven't seen him in forever.
He's wonderful.
Like doing wonderful, or he is a wonderful human being?
Both, I think.
Okay, great. Because I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's the biggest dinkus. I love him so much.
He cuts through the bullshit so quickly and goes straight to the source.
Oh, yeah.
But in a way that it doesn't feel like it's the kind of shit that you need to hear. So it's never abrasive in the sense that, like, you're like, what? Come on, man. What? I thought we were friends.
No, it's because you're friends.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So he has a way of letting you know, like, hey, you know why I am talking like this.
Yeah.
It's because I care about you, and this is what you need to do.
Yeah. He and I had like a fantastic conversation one evening, which was like 5 hours. I talked to Andy Matfield. And I mean, we were texting and whatever, but
AndyMatfield.com.
Yeah, go there. Also, he had a new sketch that he came out with, the penis game one, and that killed me.
Oh, fuck, he told me about it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so dumb. It's so Andy. Like, it's so awesome. But he's like, I had a tweet and I made it a thing. And then it's like, that's like the description he had when he posted it. It's so good. But so he and I were like texting back and forth. It was hours and hours and hours. And we were talking about books and music and all kinds of shit. And then we were like, dude, we should hang, man. Like, this is like, we would fucking have fun if we hung out. And then we never hung out, which is the most me thing ever, to be like, dude, you and I are going to be best friends.
You know what?
Never speak to him again.
You know what I think describes you best? Current Alex Petra, always on the verge of not happening.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you're down for the thing, but it's almost like in the back of your mind, you're like, I might just chill on my couch, though.
Yeah. Which is, I think, it's oddly, it's like the best version of me I can put out there. Because it's the most honest.
Yes.
You know, because it's not like I don't want to hang out with people, but like if I have to weigh the options of like going and doing a thing versus like just chill popping at home.
Yes.
I'm chill popping.
Because the tension that gets relieved, even if you were looking forward to a thing, you can't help but have like, I do that 1,000,000-mile-an-hour thing. So like, we're going to go to so-and-so's house. They live 20 minutes away. We're going to pack up the kids. We're going to it's going to be a whole day thing.
It becomes a thing.
And then they say, oh, little Nathaniel is sick. We're going to have to take a rain check. The decompression, like just feel all of that tension go, even though you were looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You still just, that all of that weight is off. You're like, oh, fuck. Dude, you know, because you already had that time slotted out. So then you get to look at the other person and go, we're not doing shit.
Yeah.
We're going to stay home and not do anything. And it's the best.
That's, I think, my favorite feeling, actually, is we don't have to do anything.
Hey, you got anything going on? I know you don't, because we were going to do something.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Hey, you got anything going on? Nope. And I'm so happy about it. It's like like I said, I like doing things. I like going places. I like having, hanging out with friends. I like, whatever. But like, I also like sitting in my room playing Super Mega Baseball 3. Like, I love that a lot. And like, don't invite me to your party on Xbox. I don't want to. I want to sit by myself with my headphones on and listen to my game. And then I want to turn on like old Mark Norman bits on my phone and have that playing in the background. And I just want to like rip dingers on Super Mega Baseball 3. Or like or like play Binding of Isaac. You know, just like all these super dorky, shitty games.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I don't care. And then I'll be playing video games. So people will be like, hey man, want to play this game with me? And I'm like, no, I don't. And I have the option in my hand and I don't have to move. I'm holding the controller and I'm like, we could, but no. Because then I have to not do this thing that I'm doing right now.
And you don't feel bad because you know that you're not putting something off. That time was slotted for a thing, and now it's all yours.
Yeah.
So it's guilt-free.
Well, and that's the narcissist in me that says, like, it already was my time anyway, so if I bail on you, or if you had an idea of what I should be doing during this time and I don't do that thing, whoops for you. I don't care. It's like and I'm getting fired up right now, but I don't care. I don't get. It's not like I feel like, and dude, this kind of, I've already done this bit on stage, but I'm just gonna. It kind of leads into
test the prem.
Well, it kind of leads into the test the prem, but this isn't the premise I was gonna do today because I've already done this premise. But I found it today, and I was like, I got to do this more. But it's like, it's always like I feel like it's frowned upon to like be an introvert.
Oh,
like weirdly frowned upon.
I said this to Kim yesterday. Super random. Like last night, I was brushing my teeth, and I just like, Kim. Introverts are just closeted extroverts.
That's really funny, actually. Well done.
Like, yep.
That's good.
I'm coming out. No, just kidding. I'm going back in.
Not interested in being out here. Thanks. You guys keep doing your thing. I'm happy to know that you're doing well, but I don't care to be there and whatever. But it's like I feel like being introverted, like people, like if you tell somebody like I'm an introvert, they're like, oh. And it's like, I don't have fucking lupus, you know? I just like don't want to hang out with you. Like that's not, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I feel guilty about it, you know? Because it's like I put on this persona sometimes when I'm with people that I am extroverted because I'm silly, but it's mostly anxiety driving that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be a fucking weirdo around people that I'm like not 100% comfortable with or whatever. And like all that is solved by just not going.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't go.
When you do this thing, I can tell when you're ready because you look out onto wherever you are as though you're looking for somebody, even though the person's right next to you. And then you look at them and go, ready to go?
Yeah.
You look out going, it's like you're assessing going, there's nothing for me out there.
Yeah. 100%, dude. I do that. I live in that feeling, which is fine, I think. I don't think people like understand that it's not a slight against them. That's the problem with it. It's like when I tell when somebody says like, hey dude, like, you know, like after the first Petrus picks, people were like, dude, you want to go to Applebee's?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I got to do laundry. And you guys were like, what? It's a Thursday at 10:30. What the fuck are you doing laundry for? And I'm like, any other excuse sounds just as dumb as I'm going to go do laundry. But really, guys, I just want to go home. I like all of you a lot, but also I don't want to hang out.
You know what's funny? You doing that gave us the out to not have to go.
But you did go.
No.
Oh, well, there you go. Then, yeah. See? It's like... It's like nobody else wants. I just like it's gotten to the point, and I feel like this is something I got to embrace more.
Right? Are we talking about the same thing when Ryan called?
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like this is something I got to embrace more because like I didn't mean it in a bad way. I got invited to go do some stuff with Caitlin's family the other day. I think it was on Monday. You know, we woke up and she was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I love all of them. They're fantastic human beings. Often, I'm thrilled when I get to go spend time with them. They're really great. But that day I woke up and I was just like, nah, I need a me day. Like big time. Big time need a me day. So like woke up, went to the gas station, filled up a gas. I was by myself until 3:00 in the afternoon. Didn't really speak a word to anyone. And felt like $1 million fucking dollars. I felt so good. And then I went golfing, and I golfed with people I didn't know, and I said like 18 words to them. It It was great. It was so good because I just got to be by myself and be as introverted as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I like had complete control over like how involved I got in conversation and shit with people, which is the other thing is like when I'm with people I know or I'm with people that I want to like be nice to or like want them to be like, oh, that was a pleasant interaction with him, you know? Then I feel like I don't have control. Like I lose control over my ability to like be involved. It's like I like a switch flips in my brain where I'm like, oh, now you got to be the most involved. Now you have to be overzealous and be like, I can't wait to, you know, keep engaging and whatever with all these people.
Right.
When like internally I'm like, I need to find an out like soon. And
right.
That's why I'm like, sorry guys, I have diarrhea. And then people are like, I'm not getting in the way of that, you know?
Matfield was the first person that I can think of. I remember, I think it was the day that he did our podcast, which would have been about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, when you lived in Chicago.
When I lived in Chicago. Back when I was selling car parts.
I sell car parts for the American working man because that's who I am and that's who I care about.
But he said, because I had had a shitty day or something and I didn't want to go and do something. He goes, oh, just don't do it. And I was like, well, yeah, but he goes, you know what I do? Somebody says, here. Oh, he goes, here, try it out on me. Ask me if I want to do something.
Hey, Chris, you want to do something?
Nope, having a sad day. I'm going home. It's like, holy shit, you just tell people you're sad? Yeah. I say, I'm sad today. I don't want to do that. And then I go home.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
That's genius.
I know.
It's so much easier than having diarrhea, even though I probably do have diarrhea, knowing me. But still, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's got a really good point in doing that, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you're so brutally honest.
It's so impressive.
Well, and people aren't going to question you if you
Yeah.
just tell them the truth. But that's the thing. Is like we're like we've trained ourselves to be like, oh, when I do tell people the truth, like then there's a negative reaction that comes from it or whatever. But it's like, you know, and it's not always like that, obviously. But like you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want to hurt your friend's feelings.
Yep.
Like today, when I was like, is it cool if I come over at 6:45? And you were like, dude, absolutely. I was like playing video games at my house. And I was like, God, if I threw up right now. You know what I mean? like it's like, or like if I got sick. But then I was like, I fucking actually want to do this though. So it's like, all right, I'm going, you know. But it's like, I have that with like everything I do.
Yeah.
Everything. It's like I have that voice. It's like, and I don't know if it's like depression or what it is. But I think it's just I'm actually more introverted than I let on.
I think your brain knows what gives you serotonin or gives you dopamine.
For sure.
And especially when you, like, I don't mean to say it like this, but like when you get away with something, right?
Yeah.
So you get out of the thing, there's that little dopamine kick that goes, that means we get to do this other thing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just your body knows what actually makes you happy. Mm-hmm. And if forcing yourself to do that thing that's super shitty, or I shouldn't say super shitty, forcing yourself to muscle through that thing, which by the end of it, you're like, it wasn't that bad, but would have been a lot more of a stress relief if I could have just chill popped at home.
But that's the other thing is in my case, often opting to do the thing pays dividends far greater than whatever I would get from sitting on the couch and playing slot machine games on my phone. You know what I mean? Like it's not, there's the disconnect is like, I'm going to be fine if I play slots on my phone.
Yeah.
I just like being horizontal a lot.
Well, I think, and that's, if you're feeling that emotion too much, like if you're feeling that emotion too often where you're like, everything I'd rather be doing, like video games alone by myself, then yeah.
It's a problem.
We've talked about the whole numbers game thing before.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. You're going to have some good times.
Yeah. But, dude, it's, I don't know. So that's...
And it's that assurance thing, right?
Right.
You know for sure the thing... It's fucking Trump supporters. You know the thing that will for sure make you happy.
Yeah.
But then that shit starts to eat away at you. And anyways, let's test that prem. Goddammit.
So that's high level a premise I want to start tackling. Is the whole like I'm introverted and I don't give a shit about it, and here's why, and like I don't owe you anything, everyone to the world, but also like I do, because we're all one humanity. So like I do owe you, but like I don't owe you my time as much as I owe you like courtesy. That's a whole anyway. My premise today is about masculinity. Yeah,
I wore the perfect attire.
Holy cow, my God,
killing it.
To me, it's like masculinity is such a weird thing because like people call like if you're too masculine, it's toxic, you know. But if you're not masculine enough, you're a pussy, right?
Right.
So it's like you have to find that perfect balance. But I feel like my masculinity too often hangs in the balance when I'm like opening a jar, you know, and like that's not a good thing. And it's like femininity.
Yeah.
I feel like doesn't have that same. I'm not saying that women or people who are effeminate don't have struggles of their own with that, I guess, like trait. But like masculinity is so fragile. I don't know. It's like if you cup your balls in the shower with your team, somebody's going to say something about how you have a little dick, you know? And like that's just not okay. I don't know. So that's my premise.
That build up to opening a jar.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you.
That fucking slaps.
Thank you.
Another thing that you could add in there, like when you said, I know women have their own jars to open.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Right? Like you could keep that
for
tag
sure.
going.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great premise.
Thank you. Because like that, it kind of goes hand in hand actually a little bit with the introvert thing, which is where like I feel like I can start to build like a here's who I am, like 20 minutes if I get booked to do 20. And I feel like the masculinity thing needs to be in there, which is why I want to start writing about it. Because I like, it's so true. It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Like putting two hands on the steering wheel, you're a fucking pussy. You know what I mean? You're like, wow. Like I wipe my own ass. I don't know.
Dude,
so anyway.
no, it's funny because I love, like when I was skating, I wore the tightest clothes, right? The skinniest of jeans, and when I started wearing long shirts on top of it, it looked like I was wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Plus all of this shit, I didn't give a fuck. It was so awesome, like to have. So it goes the other way where you own how much of a pussy you are.
Yeah.
And you start to sound like a bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fucking pussy, dude.
Yeah. People are.
I just watched a commercial that had a father-son moment. Fucking cried for like 5 minutes afterwards.
Yeah. And you've gone full circle where you're so masculine or you're such a pussy that now it's actually masked as being extremely masculine because you're so confident.
Yeah.
And also, those two words are not mutually exclusive. Confidence and masculinity are not the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Except in a man, for some reason, they have to be. You know, it's like, dude, if I want to wear fucking Crocs right now, it doesn't mean I suck dicks. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. I don't know, dude. It fucking drives me nuts.
Also, because it used to bother me, and then like that whole up and down thing. And then it just carried over into other things, like talking about how there was a point where Kim was stronger than me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be like, I got to get back home. Kim's going to beat the shit out of me. And it was possible. At that time, she definitely could have gone full Demesto on me.
Yeah. Demesto, dude.
Which
that sounds like a Spider-Man villain.
The most aggressive magician.
Oh, that's funny. I was just thinking Mysterio from Spider-Man. Demesto is like all he does is like he just gets girlfriends and then beats them up. That's all Demesto does.
Yeah.
Or it's a girl that just gets boyfriends and beats them up.
Also that.
You know, either or. We don't need to be gender specific on this one.
That's very true.
Could be agender, you know?
I do love the thought of like, I forget what comic had. I think this was somebody's bit, but the idea of two like just jacked gay dudes that are dating, like when they get domestic on each other, if it's like a pay-per-view event.
I don't know who it is, but that's funny. Just that premise alone is hilarious.
Yeah, because
like
I've seen two ripped partners, and because I thought of that fuck, I wish I could remember who said it.
Ding fucking ding, pal, and then just like boom, you know, and you're like, whoa, they're gonna do it later.
It's like
it's awesome.
It's like when the Power Rangers morph into the big thing and fight that monster.
Yeah, it's like when you like how do you solve conflicts at home? Oh, we beat the shit out of each other, you know? And then like one of us makes a brioche, or I was trying to think of a fancy like French term for food or French food.
Oh, a bidet.
I mean, could be considered a drinking fountain, I guess, but
yeah,
if you're drinking down there, I don't know, something bad's probably happening. All right,
yeah.
Premise.
Anyways, the premise that I want to do is I've talked to you about it before, which is the whole like suicide thing, which is
yeah. This was,
but so the setup would be, my viewpoint on how suicide is a combination of someone thinking that they're fighting for their life, but the person that they're fighting against is actually themselves. Mm-hmm. So they are the assailant and defender. And so when they terminate their lives, they think that they're saving either themselves or somebody else. So that's like the more or less how I would set it up.
Yeah.
And then to be like, that being said, my kill to death ratio is horseshit or garbage, or how, like, I'm trying to think of like, I know there's a way to,
I love that punchline. Like it is really good. It's hard. When we talked about it, that's going to be either the needle that pops the balloon of hot air that's building in the room because people are like, oh. You know, not like in a bad way,
no,
but
I know
people
what
are
you
like,
mean.
oh man, this is tough to hear, you know? And that's just going to like boom and then like bomb drop, you know? Like it's either going to kill or like the problem with kill to death ratio is like it only hits a certain audience, you know? So it's like if you're in Minneapolis,
right, that's right.
You know, like if you're in Minneapolis or, you know, even the crowds at Monticello, like some of them are a little bit older, but often we have, you know, some younger people in there too. Like it would crush there, you know? I feel like your setup should include things that your punchline actually kind of draws from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, that's why I use kill to death ratio, because in that example, right, the assailant and defender.
Yeah. So like, I feel like maybe even make it more like
more obvious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then if you set it up in a way that they're like already sort of thinking like in that realm, you know, then the bridge to kill to death ratio is already built for you. You don't have to. Like,
I gotcha.
You don't have to say it and then like them build that bridge in their heads and then like, oh, that's funny.
I think I'm so used to the bait and switch thing.
Yeah.
That I just assume that it's always going to pan out in these.
Yeah.
The way that I build.
Well, it's like
jokes.
you don't want them to have to comprehend the punchline. You want them to just like hear the punchline and react.
Right.
It's like that's the best punchlines are instant react punchlines. It's like that's like it always bums me out when like I'm instant react guy on a punchline and then like the rest of the audience it like takes a moment, because it's like, and this has happened, I've heard you do this before where like I'm on stage and I'll hit a punch and nobody laughs right away and you're laughing and then people are like, oh yeah, that's fun. Like, you know, you don't want that. That's like the least ideal way, because you wouldn't want to be able to follow that up with a tag. And if like the punchline hasn't hit, the tag's definitely not going to hit.
Right.
So I guess that's not always
I was
going
to say, it kind of depends, because sometimes as people are processing the punch, the tag can sometimes make it click for them to
Well,
go, fuck.
The tag is like the lighter fluid after you try to light the fire, where it's like, you know? But
that sounds like the bidet was.
Ooh. But yeah, dude, I love that premise. That sounds like I'm pro suey. I'm not. But I do.
I think
you
call it suey. I'm gonna start saying
chop
that
suey.
now. Chop suey, dude.
Ooh, chop suey. But it's, you know, if you play around with different setups, like as far as like the language you use in the setups, like the setup itself is ironclad. Like I feel like it's solid to just like approach it from that direction. Like I'm both the hero and the villain in this story.
Right.
And the reason I'm the hero is because I'm taking out the villain. But like that, dude,
it's
that's
like when you're
you can
playing
add onto it. It's
Mortal
like the villain.
Kombat.
The villain isn't you. The villain is the way you think about you. You could even like add that on afterwards.
Right.
Because like really you're not the villain. It's just like the thought is the villain.
Yeah. I was going to say it's like you get through Mortal Kombat all the way to the final bad guy. And then just as you finish him, it's you. He takes off his mask and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're like, God
but
damn
you've
it.
already finished him and, you know, game over.
You know, and you're like, I mean, all right. I don't know. Yeah, dude, that's I like that premise. I think it's gonna do well. I just think, it's just all about the language that you use.
Right.
Because it will be very good when you iron that out.
And I think it is. It's I don't know. Like there has to be some type of establishment. It's not a joke that you throw in on a 5-minute set. I don't feel like.
Maybe if you open with something that's like, if you come up there and you're like doing sort of your self-deprecating-y sort of stuff, and then you kind of like lean harder and harder as time goes on. Even in 5 minutes, you can lean from like self-deprecating into like I've actually had some issues mentally into like this is how bad it got, and then pop the bubble, because that's really like if you can find a way to add punchlines that like keep the levity around, you know, throughout that, and then like take that 30 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever it is, and embrace the fact that you know the crowd is not going to laugh. Like they're going to be very sad, you know?
Yeah.
Because their empathy is through the roof for you.
Yeah.
Which is where you have to be like, keep coming with me. Like we're going to get through this, and then fucking boom. And then that's where those jokes hit for me, like always the hardest. Not my own personal jokes, but like when I'm consuming comedy, those jokes hit me the hardest, always, every time. Yeah. Because they're the hardest to embrace before the punchline and the easiest to embrace afterwards.
Yeah, if to me, like, it feels like you find out, it's like being at a fucking company picnic, and you find out that somebody else is into UFC or like some random like thing that not a lot of people are into. Like when I was in treatment, I found out that like somebody else
lawnmower racing.
Yeah. Somebody else used to rollerblade, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! Are you kidding me?" I couldn't believe it. How dare you laugh at that?
No, it was the face he made. It was something. Are you fucking what?
Well, the funny thing is, his response was, "You used to aggressive inline?" I was like, "Yeah, but I don't say that."
That's what it was called?
That's what we call it skating. Like normally.
Yeah.
But
did the really tooly douchey guys did they call it aggro inline?
In the 90s.
Oh,
right?
Ow, dude. That's so awesome.
In the 90s, people were like when somebody would say, I rollerblade.
Try it.
Like some babysitter would be like, I rollerblade too.
And you're like,
and we'd be like, it's not the same, Brittany. Ours is aggressive. It's so fucking
we have
stupid.
Black X Factor ramps set up on the edge of our driveway so we can jump into the grass and not skin our knees.
Oh fuck! Those ramps were the worst.
They were the
broke
worst
so easily.
Yeah, but they were actually great for in the winter to snow skate with because you could pack snow around them. The best ever. And then you would build bigger ramps with these like basically shell ramps. Also, I say snow skate like I was good at it. It was horrible at it.
Oh, well, you don't have, but it's all fun stuff.
Ah.
But yeah, so that was the thing. Like, we're in a treatment facility. Everybody's there for the worst possible reason.
Right.
But then being like, what? It felt like it was just he and I in that whole fucking facility.
Yeah.
So then when it happens in jokes, especially like, that's when I when I laugh at comics shit and no one else in the crowd is laughing, I laugh that much harder because I'm like, it's just me and them.
Yeah.
Me and whoever is on stage, and it feels fucking awesome.
Yes. It's like the joke was just for you.
They say you're not supposed to write jokes like that.
Oh no.
But
But
I fucking love it.
yeah, nobody does that on like actively on a serious level. Nobody's like writing a joke that they're like, dude, I think Chris is gonna love this joke. Never. I'll like write a joke and be like, oh, Chris will think this shit's funny, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna like do the joke if I think only Chris is gonna think it's funny. I'll just fucking tell you the joke. Because that's the reaction I'm looking for, you know?
I have this is like, it's been a problem again
All day.
you do the
all day.
that's so interesting.
Painful, yeah.
Must have a very wide cavity.
Yeah. It is wide.
Wide and narrow at the same time, because you Jack Skellington.
I weigh 200 pounds now. You don't get to say that.
You know what? You tell me. You tell Steven Seagal's nephew what's bothering you. Huh? Did I tell you how that came about?
Steven Seagal's nephew?
Yeah. Why I started saying that?
Oh.
Somebody in California, it was another comic, and I had thrown a roasty his way. And he was like, I'm not going to take that shit from Steven Seagal's nephew. And I was like, oh my God. It's
so
amazing.
Good. That's so good.
And so, yeah, I've been using it ever since.
That's funny as shit.
Super
hey,
fucking
embrace
funny.
the good ones.
Oh,
always
hell
embrace
yeah.
the good ones. Yeah.
For sure.
For a while, people called me Stretch, and I like loved that nickname because I'm like, that's exactly what I am. I look like a normal human being, but somebody was just like,
You're that one character in Hey Arnold with like the buzz
fuck
cut.
off, dude.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You
the
know
guy
what
who's
I'm
like,
talking about. No, not that one.
dude, I was like, that guy sucks.
He had a southern accent for some reason.
Dude, he's the Pete Wheeler from Backyard Baseball of Hey Arnold. Yeah, that guy sucks.
Hey man, everybody get over to the basketball court. He had a super big nose too.
Dude, I used to say stoop kid never leaves the stoop all the time, and people were like, the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, you obviously didn't live.
Yeah. God, that cartoon
Fantastic.
almost made me think that jazz music was cool. And then I grew up and was like, nope.
Dude, I loved that show.
Ain't. Yeah, it was a beautiful show.
Fantastic.
Him and the
Gerald with his fucking can of soup hair.
Oh.
And then Harold with his fucking weird ass hat. That like his hat is smaller than his face because his face was so fat and his hat is like this big.
dude.
Hey, short man.
His grandpa.
What was Brain? Was that kid's name that would breathe super heavy?
No fucking clue.
And
I don't remember.
What's her face would always punch him in the face.
Helga?
Helga
Yeah,
would always
dude.
punch him in the face
Maybe,
because he would pop up
yeah, dude.
and then she'd punch him in the face.
Yeah.
One time, there's a hole in a tree, and she's like bummed out about something, and he pokes his head through the thing, and she goes, forget it. And he goes, and he punches himself in the face. Breaks his
That's
glasses.
so
It's
funny.
fucking great.
Dude, the animation back in the day, though, on Nickelodeon, like,
Unrivaled.
nothing beats it. Nothing beats it.
Unfucking rivaled.
I will say, like, Cartoon Network had some bangers back then, though.
Sure. Dexter's Lab.
Oh, yeah. Dexter's Lab
Fucking
was great.
Cow and Chicken.
Yeah. Courage the Cowardly Dog was a pretty good show.
Oh my God, so good. Angry Beavers. Did you ever watch that one?
That was on Nickelodeon, though.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, Angry Beavers. Dude, funny. Okay. I know we got to wrap this up. I know. We're like, we can't stop. One of the funniest things my dad has maybe ever said, actually. Like, and he says a lot of really funny shit. But somebody mentioned Angry Beavers, and my dad was like, "Wait, the Women's March?" And I was like, "It's like, Dad, it's so." And it was like the timeliness and like it was just so quick, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's funny." It was so good. And then I tried to like recycle the joke once in my family. We were like, it was like family Christmas. I got a pair of Angry Beavers socks for Christmas from someone. My aunt, who was like in the Women's March, was like sitting right next to me. And I was like, "Hey, check it out, Women's March socks." And my aunt was like, "Alex, why would you say that?" And my dad was like, "Oh, you're dumb for saying that. Why would you do that?" Nobody's as funny as your dad. You're right. It's like 8:30. I haven't eaten dinner. Papa's got to eat some garbage.
Kim made the most.
Nope, not eating your family's food. I have food in the fridge.
She made so much.
I'm not eating your family's food, not because I don't want to eat your family's food, and not because I don't think that you're totally fine in offering it to me. We have food that I have to eat at home, or we're going to have to throw it away. And I get super angry when I have to do that.
Sure.
So
yeah.
that's like number one for me.
I take a bite of things and throw them away when I just buy them,
I don't do that.
Well,
I hate throwing food away. Which,
look at my castle.
some of the people listening to me.
Look at the thousands and thousands of dollars
Yeah.
that are in this room alone.
Yeah.
I have disposable income that you may never know
Yeah, that's true.
in life.
That's true. Okay, Christopher Walken. Why don't you Christopher walk yourself out, big guy? Jesus.
Woo! Okay, well,
Same time next week?
I fucked it up.
You did.
One more time?
Same time next week?
Dude, absolutely.
Hell yeah, dog. All right.
Dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, absolutely.